Welcome back, everyone. So I got my That's a Good Rock, and I got to land on the green dot. That and much more is what we're going to cover in this episode as we focus on Oshkosh 2023. So let's get to it. If I were to summarize Oshkosh in one word, it would be hot. Damn, it was hot. I couldn't believe it. Now, I come from Montreal, born and raised in Montreal, and moved out to Calgary. In Calgary, it's very dry. And in Montreal in the east, there's a lot of humidity in the summer. So I guess if I had never left Montreal, Oshkosh wouldn't have been too bad for me. But I've been out here for 8 years, and Oshkosh was hot. And now let's start with the arrival. So it was Monday morning, a little bit past 10, when the FISC controllers had announced that the arrival starting point would be at the Green Lake call-up point. I decided to start off at Endeavor from the beginning, only because I wanted to experience the entire path all along the way. And I did come in from the west or southwest. And so I wanted to start at Endeavor and make my way all the way through to get that experience. The first problem is where the heck was Endeavor Bridge? And then it's like, oh, there it is. In that foggy patch way in the distance, you can barely make it out. And I questioned whether that was even a bridge or not. But there it was. Visibility was crap. Luckily, the controllers had said that it was supposed to be a 2-mile spacing between each aircraft. And I don't think it was even 2 miles of visibility. I mean, it probably was about 1.5 miles, maybe. It felt like marginal VFR at some point. It was quite difficult to see. I had 2 advantages flying in. Most people say it's very stressful. I was ready for stressful, but besides the visibility, I didn't think it was that bad. But the 2 advantages that I had was, the first, I flew at 2,300 feet and over 130 knots. The reason behind that is I didn't want to take the chance that flying at 90 knots that I'd be behind some slower aircraft, and 64, 65 is my stall speed. So I didn't want to be too close to that or have to do any extra super slow flight just to stay in line with everyone else. So being at 2,300 feet, I was pretty much the only airplane coming in at that altitude at that exact time. It was uneventful. I mean, I just flew straight. I did see a couple of Cessnas that I passed down below, but I seemed to be the only one at that altitude. The second thing was no ADSB. It's amazing. There are no airplanes around me when you have no ADSB. And then on to Fisk, where I was told to rock my wings, and then off to runway 27, where I landed.
We got any flights between Ripon and Fisk?
2 Cessnas, 150 and 172, blue and green.
Low wing with the gear up, just over Fisk, rock your wings. Well, that's a good rock, continue up the track, start slowing down and descend 1,800 feet, enter right down on runway 27, keep the downwind turn inside the gravel pit. There's traffic ahead of you that's a little slower. We need you to slow down and we need to keep that spacing right down on runway 27. Tower's going to call your descent at the gravel pit, and monitor tower 118.5. Cessna, half-mile southwest of Fisk, rock your wings.
So here's a quick tip flying into Oshkosh. Tip number 1. So get rid of the VFR sectional if you're using ForeFlights. Get rid of it, and so you can only see the aerial view, and that helps a lot with identifying the landmarks and where you're flying on ForeFlights on your maps. Now keep in mind, you're supposed to be looking outside, but this really helped find my way around, especially with the bad visibility.
Nice work, Mooney. Turn left into the grass, follow the flagman. Welcome to Oshkosh. Hello, aircraft inbound from Fisk, right downwind runway 27. Continue to follow railroad tracks. Maintain 1,800 for departures at 1,300. Skymaster over the gravel pit. Start your descent. Skymaster midfield downwind. You can expect a base turn to beam the numbers. Runway 27, clear to land on or after the green dot. And my high wing midfield downwind. Start your descent. You'll be turning base shortly. Correction, low wing. Low wing, start your descent. And don't forget to put your gear down for me. Low wing, start your base, turn base now. Aim for the orange dot, clear to land on or after the green dot.
Red Cirrus Demo Jet, Fond du Lac.
Cirrus Demo Jet, roger, report warbird. Low wing, start your base, cleared to land, green dot. Low wing, start that base turn, aim for the orange dot, cleared to land on or after the green dot. All aircraft after landing, turn left into the grass with no delay exit on runway for aircraft driving behind you. Flowing left into the grass, aircraft landing behind you, left into the grass. Thank you. And my aircraft that just touched down, the orange and white. What's your type?
Lancer 360.
Roger, thank you.
Ain't she pretty?
She is. Like the color scheme.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, okay. So I really didn't land on the green dot, but it was actually part of my plan, believe it or not. It was if I could make it on the green dot, great, but it wasn't so much a concern. What I wanted was a smoother landing. I watched a lot of YouTube videos where guys are like slamming that plane down at that last second. And I happened to watch one that said, ignore the green dot. There's no rule that you have to touch the green dot. It's just a thing that people want to do, I guess. So I was more concerned about having that smooth landing and not going off into the grass right away in a rush. The Lancer's got a decent nose wheel, but it is a little on the delicate side. So I wanted to avoid that as much as possible. So I, rolled off past the green dot, and you'll see, I think you see the white dot go by me in the video. And, went off into the grass after. But what happened is they gave me the Tour de France Oshkosh version. I get into the grass, and one guy sends me one way, another guy says, follow me. And they were super nice. And at one point he tells me the reason behind this is because we're aware of your plane and what it can or can't do, or where we can or can't go. So we're looking for a hard surface spot for you to park on. After I told them that it was okay that it was on the grass, they got me a really nice place, really close to the taxiway, which helped on the departure time. So thanks to the guys who walked me to the parking spot. After having made a slight adjustment to the airplane, taking my selfie so I can send it to family and friends, and having a great discussion with one of the greeters at Oshkosh, it was time to register the airplane, pay for the week's camping, as well as my entry into the show for the week. But not until I met Bob.
Bob's gonna be on my video. Yeah! Yeah!
As he was coming in, I almost ran into my plane. Not his fault. There's a lot of confusion when you arrive at Oshkosh. So a lot of people telling you, come here, do this. He stopped and maybe missed my plane by about a foot, but it's all good. No damage, no problem. And I did ask Bob if it was okay if I took that picture. So lucky he was there, because he showed me around. He'd been coming down for years, and so he and I hung around quite a bit and had some lovely chats. Wonderful guy. It was nice meeting you, Bob. It's now time to close off this video with some views of airplanes that I saw on the way to register my arrival at Oshkosh. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe and hit the notification button. The second part of this video is expected to come out in the next couple of days. Hitting that notification button will, advise you when it's come out. So until then, thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you next time. Bye now.